Editing videos or photos might be tricky sometimes. Today we'll talk about keyframes, and it's not as scary as it looks. It might look like a dark forest at first, but it's very important to learn and understand this tool before using and blindly following some tutorial. After a while, you'll just get used to using this tool, and your logic and common sense will tell you to use this and apply it for your project. So let's talk about the keyframes. Whenever you add a keyframe to your video or photo, a little dot will appear, telling you on which second the action is supposed to start. Whenever you fast forward a little bit, you're gonna choose the second point, where this action will end. There's really no limit to how many keyframes you can add. Let's do an example and let's add 3 keyframes in 1 second increments. So, first keyframe would be the beginning of an action of your chosen animation or an effect. Second keyframe would be where that action is supposed to finish. So the workspace from second keyframe to the third one works exactly the same like it does from the first one to the second one. But it does not necessarily have to be the same type of effect that you apply to that area. Putting it down simple for you, we have 3 keyframes and 1 second to work with and another second to work with. Okay, so here comes some visuals to help us out. Here we have a picture. Let's make the picture move from top to bottom using the gap from the first and second keyframes. There we have it. Now, let's make the picture move from left to right using the second and third keyframes. Very simple, isn't it? Now that we know what's a keyframe, let's jump into the CapCut and see how it's done in more detail so you can do the same. I imported a picture to my project so we can try some keyframing work. Select an image when your timer is at the very beginning of the photo and click the circled icon. It will enable keyframes for our photo. We will play around with the scale. Move forward 15 frames and rescale the image using your 2 fingers to shrink the image. Move another 15 frames and scale it back up. 15 frames more and zoom the image in. Another 15 frames and let's turn it upside down. "15 more frames and let's get it back to normal. And final 15 frames, let's zoom it out as much as possible. Play around with this technique and you'll be able to create much more than this moving picture. Let's move to technique number 2. Keyframing a mask. A little more advanced, but nothing you can't do, guys. Select an image when your timer is at the very beginning of a photo and add a keyframe. Then select the mask option. Choose film strip selection and scale it down as much as you can. When it's scaled, place it in the position that you think looks good for the beginning of a shot. Scroll all the way to the end of the photo, then move it so it reveals the subject. Also, you can add some feathering by dragging on the arrow that's next to the mask. Then apply the effect. Taking this technique one step further, you can add a subtle zoom effect at the end by just slightly zooming in on the picture while the timer is aligned with your last keyframe used. This one wasn't too hard as well. Let's move to the third and final keyframe technique of this video. So here we have a same squirrel. Let's add a funny emoji to the clip. Click on the stickers option and choose the emoji you want, then scale it accordingly. This is easy while doing it with a photo. Let's make it more challenging and let's add an animation to the photo so it moves around. Select an image, click on animation and choose combo option. Then apply the animation of your liking. I'll add the very first one. Now we see the emoji is moving around and not staying where we want it. Let's fix that by keyframing. Select an emoji and add a keyframe at the very beginning of its timeline. Then position it over a wanted area and fast forward around 10 frames ahead and move it to the place where it needs to be. Repeat this process until the video is over. The more keyframes you'll add, the higher level of accuracy you'll achieve. In my example video, I'm using very rough technique. You will do much more accurate work for your videos and it will look awesome. This technique is very handy if you want to hide your baby's face from any of your videos. Of course, it doesn't have to be a baby, you can hide anybody's face with this technique. I hope this didn't scare you off from using keyframes, because it's one of the most important techniques to learn before becoming a more advanced video editor. This should have been helpful for new editors to learn keyframing. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and check the channel for more videos like this. And as always, I'll see you next time.